Father Christmas reveals all. Prize 2 chocolate coins. The Daily Snow. Every elf's favorite newspaper. Exclusive. Father Christmas reveals his new look. Father Christmas was spotted at Reindeer Field this weekend with a beard. Speaking to the Daily Snow's political correspondent, Mother Jingle, Father Christmas commented, "Yes, it's true. This is a beard and it's on my face. But I really want to talk about the need for more goodwill and..." So there you have it. Father Christmas's beard is real. See page 33 to 47 for advice on how to get the Father Christmas look. Page 223. The Magic of Giving. It takes some people a long time to work out exactly what they are here for. In Nicholas's case, it took him another 40 years. He was now 62 years old. He had not only grown a beard, as the Truth Pixie had suggested, but he had been leader of the Elf Council for a very long time. In that time, he had restored and expanded happiness in Elfheim. He had started a weekly speckle dance with singing tomtegoops in the village hall, given free toys to every newborn elf, converted the tower into a toy workshop, established the University of Advanced Toy Making, expanded the School of Sleighcraft, set up the Pixie Elf Alliance, signed a peace treaty with the Trolls, invented the mince pie and the sherry and gingerbread man, and raised the elf minimum wage to 500 chocolate coins a week. But he still felt he needed to do more. He knew he needed to do more because he was still getting older by the day. Most elves, with the exception of Father Topo and a few others, stopped aging at around 40, and it was getting a bit silly. He was taking so long to find his purpose. He loved helping the elves, but it was time to help the people that part of him still belonged to, the people he had left behind in their world, one that was too often full of loss and pain and sadness. He could sense them. He would lie awake in bed at night and hear their voices in his head. He could feel the whole world in there, the good and the bad, the naughty and the nice. One Sunday night in spring, when there was no moon, he took Blitzen from the field and flew beyond the mountain. There was no better feeling than flying through the sky on the back of a reindeer. Even after a lifetime of doing so, Nicholas, who was now so comfortable with the name Father Christmas that he called himself Father Christmas, loved the magical feeling of zooming through the sky. They kept flying right across Finland, across the forest where he last saw his father, searching for him the way he always searched for him whenever he flew. It was foolish. His father had died long ago, but it was an old habit. They flew across Sweden and into southern Denmark, over towns and cities, and then back to Finland, over the port city of Helsinki, where trawlers and other boats waited for the fishermen who would take them out onto the rough seas again. Father Christmas desperately wanted to speak to one of his own kind, but he had long vowed to the elves that he would keep their secret. He knew they were right. Humans probably still couldn't be trusted to know about elves and their magic, but that was only because human lives could be so hard. On and on they flew over the kingdom of Hanover, the Netherlands, and France. The lands below were all dark, but with brief bursts of light from all the fires and the gas-steel lamps that glimmered in the cities below. As Father Christmas finally asked Blitzen to head home, he thought all of human life, and certainly the life he remembered, was like this landscape, dark with occasional bursts of light. As he flew back north under the moonless sky, he realized that although he might not be able to leave with the humans again, the question still bothered him. How could he make their lives better, happier? The following day, he asked that very same question in a meeting of the Elf Council. "We need to find a way to spread as much happiness as possible," he announced. Father Vodol arrived a bit late, clutching a stack of presents. "Happy birthday, Father Vodol," said Father Christmas. They all sang happy birthday. When Father Vaudou was seated, he turned and smiled at his good friend Father Christmas, and wished he could turn back time and change that day he had put him in prison. But everyone is happy, said Mother Noosh, who was now a successful journalist as the Daily Snow's chief reindeer correspondent. Everyone here is happy, corrected Father Christmas, but I want to spread that happiness beyond the mountain. There was a collective gasp from the elves who were there, which wasn't many, as there was a cake-eating competition going on downstairs in the village hall. Beyond the mountain? Asked Father Topo. But it's too dangerous. Everything is perfect here. If we let all the humans know we're here, it would be chaos. No offense, Father Christmas. Father Christmas nodded thoughtfully and scratched his beard, which was now as white as Father Topo's whiskers. Father Topo always had a point, and this was no exception. I agree, Father Topo, I agree. But what if we need something that gave just a little bit of magic? Something that could brighten their lives? But what? Asked Father Vaudou, who was opening a birthday present. A cuddly toy reindeer. He squealed with joy. It looks just like Blitzen. Thank you, Father Christmas. A pleasure, said Father Christmas. And Father Christmas watched that joy on Father Vaudou's face and thought, as he often did, about the magic of giving. He thought of the day he had been given the sleigh, and the time a few years later when he had been giving the turnip doll. Even though a sleigh is significantly better than a turnip, the feeling of receiving both had been the same. And then that night, at around midnight, it came to him. It was the biggest and craziest idea he had ever had in his life. The idea would involve a lot of things. First of all, a lot of hard work, but elves loved work if it was fun. So he would make sure it was fun. It had to be fun because if they weren't having fun, then it would go badly wrong. He would convert the tower from merely being a toy workshop to being the greatest toy workshop imaginable. The plan would also involve reindeer. Yes, all of the reindeer would be needed. He would need Blitzen to lead the way, because no one was as good in the air as Blitzen. Not only was he strong and quick, but he had also determination. He would never leave a journey half finished, just as Nicholas would never leave a mountain half climbed. As well as Blitzen, he would need Donner at the front to help with navigation, or maybe that new reindeer Mother Noosh had found wandering the wooded hills, the one with the strange red nose. And they'd need a good sleigh. They'd need the best sleigh there had ever been. In fact, he'd needed to recruit the best sleigh makers. He would need it to be strong and streamlined and silent through the air. But there was still a problem. He paced his bedroom, munching on chocolate. He looked out of his window, past Blitzen and other 8 reindeer asleep in the dark, over to the village hall. He looked at the new clock face. 15 minutes had gone by since he'd first had the idea. Time moved so quickly. He'd needed to do something about that, about time. How could he travel to every human home in the world in a single night? It was impossible. But Father Topo's words from long ago came back to him. An impossibility is just a possibility you don't understand yet. He looked at the sky and saw a fiery trail making a path between the stars before fading away into the night like a dream. A shooting star, he said to himself, remembering the one he had seen with Mika all those years ago. I do believe in magic, Mika, he said, imagining the long-gone mouse was still there with him, just as you believed in cheese. And where there is magic, there is always a way. And this time he knew he would find it. He stayed up all night thinking about it, and then he stopped thinking about it and started believing in it. He believed it so completely that it was already real. There was no use trying to think of a way, because it was impossible. And the only way you can make something impossible real isn't through logic or sensible thinking. No, it's to believe it can be done. Belief is the method. With the right magic and belief inside you, you can stop time, expand chimneys, even travel the world in a single night. And it was going to happen at Christmas. And the moment he knew it, he felt a warm glow. It started in his tummy and spread through his whole body. It was the feeling that comes when you find out who you really are and who you know you will be. And in finding himself, he had stopped growing old right there. The way you stop when you reach a destination after a long journey or after reaching the last page in a book, when the story is complete and stays that way forever. And so he knew that he, the man called Christmas, who really still felt as young as ever, a 62-year-old boy called Christmas, wouldn't age another day. He picked up his father's old red hat. He placed it to his face and was sure he could smell the scent of pines from the forest where his father had spent every day chopping down so many trees. He put the hat on his head, then heard the distant sound of voices coming from the village hall. Of course, it was Monday, dance night. He opened his window wide and saw hundreds of happy elves walking back to their homes. He felt such a joyous spirit inside himself that he leaned out of the window and shouted as loud as he could, "Merry Christmas to all, and to all a good night." And everyone looked up at him and without question said, "Merry Christmas." And everyone, including Father Christmas, laughed, "Ho, ho, ho." And so it was that he closed the window and finished his chocolate and went to bed. He closed his eyes and smiled with such joy, thinking of all the magic and wonder he would share next Christmas. The Daily Snow, every elf's favorite newspaper. Father Christmas's big gamble. After months of intense preparation, Father Christmas reported today at the toy workshop that plans were going well. "Everything is on track," he told the Daily Snow's political correspondent, Mother Jingle. "We had a little crisis earlier in the month with missing jigsaw pieces, but that has been resolved." Continued on pages 2 to 3. Page 233. The first child to wake up. The very first child to wake on Christmas morning was an 8-year-old girl called Amelia, who lived in a small house on the outskirts of London in the grey and rainy country known as England. She opened her eyes and stretched. She heard her mother coughing through the wall. She saw something in the darkness of her room, an unmoving shape at the end of her bed. The sight made her curious. She sat up, and there was a stocking bulging with parcels. She unwrapped the first parcel, her heart racing. "Impossible," she said, opening it up. It was a little wooden horse, exactly what she had always wanted. She opened the next present, a spinning top, perfectly hand-painted with the most lively pattern of zigzags. Something else, a little orange. She had never seen an orange before. And money made out of chocolate. She noticed a piece of cream writing paper folded up in the bottom of the stocking. She began to read. "Dear Amelia, I am pleased to tell you that you have been a good girl this year. I hope you enjoyed the presents. The elves made them especially for you. My name is Father Christmas. When I was your age, I was called Nicholas. There will be a lot of people in your life who will tell you to grow up or to insist that you stop believing in magic. Do not listen to these people. There is magic in this world, and me and the elves and some fine flying reindeer will prove it to you. And all the children of the world, every Christmas morning when you find a stocking full of presents. Now go and spread the word Merry Christmas. Yours, F.C.